Have you ever pondered what drives someone to soar above the clouds, to defy gravity, and to master the art of flight? The answer lies in motivation, a powerful force that fuels the learning journey of aviation students. Motivation in aviation training can be seen as an internal or external spark that propels students to learn and evolve. It's the driving force behind their determination to understand the intricacies of aeronautics, the mechanics of various aircraft, and the protocols of air navigation. The source of this motivation can vary widely among students. For some, it's the dream of becoming a professional pilot, while for others, it's the thrill of exploring aviation as a hobby. Understanding these individual motivations is crucial for flight instructors. It allows them to tailor their teaching approach to resonate with each student's specific desires and aspirations, thereby fostering an environment that encourages and sustains motivation throughout the entire training process. Now, how can this motivation be nurtured and maintained? One effective way is by emphasizing the relevance and significance of the knowledge and skills being acquired. For instance, by highlighting how mastering navigation techniques can lead to safer flights, or how understanding aircraft mechanics can help in handling unexpected situations, instructors can reinforce the value of the training and boost the students' motivation to learn. In essence, motivation is more than just an abstract concept in aviation training. It's a tangible, dynamic force that can be harnessed and directed towards productive learning. It's the wind beneath the wings of aviation students, pushing them to reach new heights and conquer new challenges. Therefore, flight instructors need to be adept at understanding and supporting their students' individual motivations. They need to create a learning environment that not only encourages the pursuit of knowledge, but also sustains the students' drive to learn and grow. Thus, motivation is the propelling force that drives students to learn, grow, and excel in the field of aviation. But what are the end goals? The objectives that these motivated individuals strive to achieve? As we delve into the world of aviation training, we quickly realize that motivation is not enough. There must be a target, a finish line, a purpose. This is where learning objectives come into play. Learning objectives are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, often abbreviated as SMART. They are the signposts that guide our journey of learning. In the context of aviation training, these objectives could range from understanding the principles of aerodynamics to mastering the art of communication in high-pressure situations. Just as a pilot needs to know their destination before they can plot a course, a student needs to understand what they're working towards to direct their efforts effectively. The clarity of these objectives is critical. It's not enough to say, "I want to be a good pilot." What does that mean? How will we know when we've reached that point? A clearer objective might be, "I want to be able to land a plane safely in adverse weather conditions." This objective is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. But it's not just about having objectives. These objectives need to align with the broader goals of the training program. If the program is designed to train commercial pilots, then the objectives should reflect the skills and knowledge that a commercial pilot needs. This alignment helps to ensure that the training is relevant and valuable. Clearly defined objectives play a vital role in motivation. They give students a sense of purpose and direction. They provide a roadmap that outlines what needs to be learned and why. This understanding can spur students on, fueling their motivation to learn and grow. In the end, the role of objectives in learning is about more than just setting goals. It's about creating a clear and compelling vision of success. It's about charting a course that leads to competence, confidence, and mastery. Clearly defined objectives not only provide a roadmap for learning, but also serve as a motivational compass guiding students towards their ultimate goal. How then does motivation intertwine with learning objectives in the realm of aviation training? Let's dive right in. Imagine setting out on a journey without a clear destination or map. The journey could be quite frustrating and directionless. This is where learning objectives come in. They provide the roadmap that guides learners through the learning process, giving direction and purpose to their journey. But what fuels this journey? What keeps the learners moving forward? This is where motivation steps in. It's the driving force that propels learners towards their goals, making the journey worthwhile. So, The connection between motivation and learning objectives is quite profound. When training objectives are aligned with students' personal goals, it enhances their motivation. It's about making the learning relevant to what the students want to achieve, whether it's becoming a professional pilot or exploring aviation as a hobby. Understanding the individual motivations of students is also crucial. It's about recognizing that each learner is unique and has different triggers that stimulate their motivation. This could be a lifelong dream to fly, a fascination with aircraft, or even the thrill of navigating the skies. Managing motivation is equally important. It's about creating a learning environment that encourages and sustains motivation throughout the entire training process. This could be achieved by highlighting the relevance and importance of the knowledge and skills acquired for their career or passion for flying. But it doesn't end there. The learning objectives need to be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. They need to be clearly defined and easily evaluated to determine if they've been achieved. The clarity of objectives helps students understand what is expected of them and motivates them to work towards achieving them. It also helps trainers to ensure alignment between training objectives and students' personal goals, making the learning more meaningful and motivating for the students. A well-balanced interplay between motivation and learning objectives is key to fostering an engaging and productive aviation training environment. This synergy is what makes the learning journey not just a mere process, but a fulfilling and rewarding experience. Beyond motivation and objectives, what else plays a pivotal role in aviation training? Well, let's explore the concept of active involvement. This is a cornerstone in experiential learning, and it's crucial in aviation training. Active involvement is more than just listening or reading. It's about doing. It's about getting hands-on and directly participating in the learning process. In aviation, this could mean practicing maneuvers in a flight simulator or getting out on the tarmac to perform pre-flight checks. Think about it this way. You could read about flying a plane all day, but until you actually get in the cockpit and take the controls, you're not truly learning to fly. That's where active involvement comes into play. It provides the crucial link between theory and practice, helping learners to apply what they've learned in a practical setting. Now, let's delve into the concept of experiential learning methods, which are an essential tool for fostering active involvement. These methods are based on the idea that we learn best when we're directly involved in our own learning process. In other words, we learn by doing. Experiential learning methods can take many forms, from flight simulations to real-world flight exercises. These methods allow learners to experience firsthand the realities of flight, the thrill of takeoff, the challenge of navigation, and the precision required for landing. Not only does this active involvement help to cement key concepts in the learner's mind, but it also helps to build confidence. When you've successfully navigated a flight simulation or completed a challenging field exercise, you're not just learning about aviation, you're living it. Active involvement also encourages learners to take responsibility for their own learning journey. They're not just passive recipients of information, but active participants in their own education. This can lead to a deeper understanding of the subject matter and a greater sense of ownership over their learning process. Active involvement in learning, thus, is not just a teaching strategy. It's a catalyst for profound learning experiences. So, how can we make learning experiences more real, more tangible for aviation students? This is a question that guides the direction of experiential learning methods in aviation training. And one of the most effective tools to answer this question is flight simulations. Flight simulations are a cornerstone of aviation training. They provide a platform for learners to immerse themselves in the experience of flying without leaving the ground. In the safe and controlled environment of flight simulators, students can practice the maneuvers and techniques they've learned in the classroom. In a flight simulation, every button, every dial, every readout feels real. The physics of the aircraft, the response of the controls, even the weather conditions can be accurately represented. Students can practice takeoffs and landings, navigate through complex air traffic, and even manage emergency situations. The beauty of flight simulations is that they provide a risk-free environment for learners to make mistakes and learn from them. In real flight scenarios, errors can have serious consequences. But in a simulator, a student can overshoot a runway or stall an engine and then simply press a button to restart the scenario. This freedom to fail without fear is a powerful tool for learning. Moreover, flight simulators offer flexibility. They can replicate a wide range of aircraft types, each with its own unique controls and handling characteristics. So, students can gain experience on multiple aircraft without the logistical challenges and costs associated with real-world flight training. Additionally, flight simulations can be used to reinforce theoretical knowledge. For instance, aerodynamics can be a complex subject to grasp. But when students can see and feel the effects of lift, drag, and thrust in a simulation, these concepts become much more understandable. Flight simulations, therefore, serve as a virtual playground where learning takes flight. They bridge the gap between theory and practice, providing a practical context for abstract concepts. They allow students to experiment, to explore, and to learn in a way that's engaging and effective. And that's what makes them such a valuable tool in aviation training. How else can we immerse students in the practical world of aviation? Now let's talk about practical field exercises, a crucial cornerstone of aviation training. These exercises provide a hands-on experience that plunges students into the real-world environment of aviation, making the learning process more tangible and engaging. Practical field exercises are designed to simulate real-life scenarios that pilots are likely to encounter, thus preparing students for the various challenges they might face in the air. These exercises can span a range of activities from pre-flight checks and navigation to emergency procedures and weather interpretation. Consider in-plane training, for instance. This involves students actively participating in the piloting of an aircraft under the guidance of a qualified instructor. It's an invaluable experience that allows students to apply theoretical knowledge to practical situations. It's one thing to learn about the physics of flight in a classroom, but it's a whole other ballgame to actually feel the controls in your hands, making split-second decisions while thousands of feet up in the air. Then there are runway exercises. These drills occur on the ground and typically involve activities such as taxiing, takeoffs, and landings. Runway exercises are a vital part of aviation training as they impart necessary skills for safe and efficient ground operations. They provide a controlled environment where students can practice these critical maneuvers repetitively until they become second nature. In both in-plane training and runway exercises, the emphasis is on learning by doing. It's about combining knowledge and skills, theory and practice, in a seamless blend that typifies the real-life experience of a professional pilot. The goal here isn't just about memorizing facts or procedures. It's about developing a deep understanding, a kind of muscle memory that instinctively knows what to do when confronted with different situations. Through practical field exercises, students don't just learn about aviation, they live it. They breathe it, feel it, and become part of the dynamic world of flying. And that's what makes practical field exercises such an integral part of aviation training. What effect does active involvement have on the learning outcomes of aviation students? This is a question that underpins the very fabric of aviation training and education. Active involvement is more than just participation. It's about engagement, immersion, experience. It's about taking the wheel, or in this case, the yoke, and navigating the vast skies of knowledge and skill development. Active involvement helps students retain knowledge more effectively. When we're actively involved, we're not just passively receiving information, we're interacting with it, manipulating it, and applying it. This process reinforces our understanding and makes the information stick in our minds. It's the difference between reading about how to fly a plane and actually getting into the cockpit. One is theory, the other is practice. In aviation training, active involvement also fosters skill development. Flight simulations and practical field exercises provide hands-on experience that is invaluable for building the skills necessary to fly an aircraft. These exercises allow students to apply what they've learned in a controlled, safe environment. They get to make mistakes, learn from them, and improve. This cycle of doing, reflecting, and learning is what transforms novices into skilled pilots. But the impact of active involvement goes beyond knowledge retention and skill development. When students are actively involved, they see their progress. They see their skills improving. They see their knowledge expanding. This boosts their confidence and motivates them to continue learning and improving. Experiential learning, therefore, is not just part of the aviation training process, it's the heart of it. It's what turns information into understanding, skills into mastery, and students into pilots. It's what makes learning meaningful, relevant, and effective. Active involvement, thus, is the bridge that connects knowledge with practice, theory with application, and learning with flying.